On the 15th of October 2018 was meant to be the Mahlangu case. The case got moved. Despite of the unofficial verdict, the women kept their heads and their spirits up and continued to protest. And these are their stories, explicitly told.
We as Oxfam particularly came in on the organizing around was the COIDA, the Compensation, and I want to get the words right, Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. In my day, I only knew it as the Workmen's Compensation, right? But it's now expanded, right? So my tongue is trying to learn the new words of the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. Yeah? But what I do know, it's the act that doesn't meet the rights and realize the dignity for domestic workers.
My name is Pinky Mashiani. I'm the founder of UDOSA, the United Domestic Workers of South Africa. I've been a domestic worker nearly for my entire life. I started being a domestic worker from 1989 until the year 2009. I was a domestic worker. And as a domestic worker, we've been working under very, very bad conditions where there was no minimum wage, we were exploited. The employers were just firing us, they hire and fire as they please. Then that's when we decided to join the union. I started to join the union, SATSAU in 2001. I joined SATSAU union, hence now I'm in a new one. I founded the new one. Yeah, as SATSAU members, we have seen different cases and different bad things happening to domestic workers, from being not paid at the end of the month, not getting your salary. Instead of getting your salary, you get fired and can even get beaten. Others were even beaten by dogs. We've got domestic workers who've been beaten by dogs, and no cases were laid against the employers because the domestic workers cannot afford to have lawyers.
The vulnerable sector. Domestic workers do not have any kind of social protection and social benefit. The problem is the legislation enacted to compensate workmen and women for occupational injuries and diseases. They are predominantly black and colored women with an average of 6 to 7 years education. The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, which is COIDA, specifically excludes domestic workers from the ambit of its protection.
We sent a letter to the Minister of Labour, and we asked the Minister of Labour what's going on with COIDA. And in this letter, we were saying to the Minister, but in 2013, when they ratified Convention 189, they had 1 year to give us COIDA, only 1 year according to the ILO protocol. It is now 2018. We still haven't seen the sign of COIDA. And then I also said to her, why is she delaying it? She sent me a letter back, and I will make that letter public later, to say that I'm insulting her, I'm degrading her, I'm accusing her. Why don't I go to Netflix and COSATU and other organizations and ask them? Then I said, but why must I ask them? Then this year they called a meeting, and they said we must arrange a meeting for them. So we went all out to arrange the meeting. Then they sent a letter back to us and say, the Minister of Labour said, you can't proceed with this meeting. She wants to be there, so stop this meeting. We booked the hall, we paid for the hall, everything, and she just stopped everything. So somewhere, there is somebody that's playing a hand in this postponement, and we have to face that they are involved, because she knows the case is coming up. She knows it since 2012. She also sent us a letter to say that time, I know it's unconstitutionally, but there's nothing I can do. So yes, that letter that she sent. And I think Tulani also got that letter. So I think we have to do like something drastic tomorrow to show them we are angry. And you know, that type of thing.
Domestic worker for 13 years. After that is to accident pass. 2014 namakuwa Suffer too much.
Four out of 5 domestic workers work full-time. That is more than 28 hours a week. Yet they are the most undervalued workers in our country. Domestic work constitutes 5.4% of GDP.
When we say we are marching, let them join us. Let them not come and say, because South Africans are lazy to work, we are going to work. This is not how it works. Let's be together and do this thing together to avoid further violence and whatever that can happen. Let us work together and for their dignity, because they are treated as cheap labor. Others are even doing that survival sex with the employers. I heard a lady from the studio today, no, I brought her here. Yeah, the case we want, it's a sexual harassment case. Because foreigners sometimes they agree to things that are beyond their control. So they take the lowest salary for a month, 800 rand, saying, I'm not a South African, this they can eat. They must say no. They must say we want minimum wage. Let them join the unions. Let them be in the union. And if we fight, let them fight with us so that we can also fight for them.
Yeah,
I want to say that we as Western Cape, we are so grateful to come together with Pretoria. And I think it's high time that we let our voices be heard, because over decades, the previous domestic workers who passed on could not pick the fruits from whatever happened in our country. And we are the most vulnerable workers in the country. We also think that it's high time that the Minister of Labour must come and sit with us. It's very difficult to reach her. We also say that domestic workers contribute to the economy of the country. Yes. Without domestic workers, there is not going to be bosses going to work. And I think that tomorrow will be the time that we are saying that we had enough, because it's high time that we also must really come together and make a decision and tie up the Minister of Labour so that she can at least, we have to shake this government to say that we are tired, we want our voices to be heard, because we are born and breathed in this country, and it's time that we've been recognition for what they are all
lokhuzana they bayayenza but ungaboni ukuthi bayayenza, but you can see that there is something like they want to dismiss you but not openly. Bakhulume nje izinto ezifani, but I never take notice to them. That is what my employer said to me. I like you because sometimes you just keep quiet even if you are angry. That means baye bebengibona ukuthi angikho right, kodwa keep quiet.
We need a country that recognizes care work, inclusive of paid and unpaid care work, that strives to reduce the drudgery of care work, to redistribute responsibility for care more equitably, and to ensure the representation of carers in decision-making as a precondition for achieving women's political, social, and economic empowerment.
silwela amalungelo wethu, thina silwela amalungelo, thina silwela amalungelo.